Good morning, folks. My name is Curtis Chandler, President at PFL. We hope that everyone had a great weekend, and we also hope that you are enjoying our early morning briefing. We do it all for you. We are live at 7 a.m. Eastern every Monday. If you are viewing this podcast through our reports and are up at 7 a.m. Eastern on Mondays, please turn in next week live instead. Please like us and follow us on LinkedIn and pass on the good word. We would certainly appreciate it, and you could win a PFL Railcar. At the end of every quarter, we have a draw for those that do. We have tank cars, coal cars, hoppers, and box cars to give away this quarter. Our quote this week is from Dwight Eisenhower, who once said, "Leadership is the art of getting people to do what you want them to do because they want to do it." This is a tricky one from Dwight. Based on my experience, I think it's all about establishing an environment of teamwork. If people feel that they are part of the team and that is demonstrated, then they should work as though their actions are letting not only you down, but the entire team. And remember, it's not about you, it's a matter of determining what everyone's wants and needs are, and that will ultimately determine what you want. Weekly jobless claims were down slightly week over week, but remain elevated. Initial jobless claims for the week ended July 24, 2021 came in at 385,000, down 15,000 people week over week, which was above analysts' expectations. Continuing jobless claims came in at 2.93 million, down by 366,000 people week over week. Altogether, some 13 million people are reportedly receiving benefits through 8 separate state or federal programs. On a good note, payrolls climbed by 943,000 last month after upwardly revised increases the prior 2 months. A Labor Department report showed Friday of last week. The unemployment rate dropped to a pandemic low of 5.4%, while earnings and hours worked remained elevated. The Dow closed higher on Friday of last week, up 144.26 points and up 273.04 points week over week. The S&P closed higher on Friday of last week, up 7.42 points and up by 41.26 points week over week. The Nasdaq closed lower on Friday, down 59.36 points, but up 163.08 points week over week. In overnight trading, Dow futures traded lower and expected to open down this morning 99 points. Oil prices fell 1% lower on Friday, posting their steepest weekly losses in months on worries that travel restrictions and new restrictions in other areas of the economy to purportedly curb the spread of the Delta variant of COVID and derailing the energy market. WTI closed down 81 cents to close at 68.28 a barrel on Friday of last week, which was down 567 cents a barrel week over week. U.S. commercial crude inventories increased by 3.6 million barrels week over week. U.S. crude inventories are 6% below the 5-year average for this time of year. Total motor gasoline inventories decreased by 5.3 million barrels week over week and are 3% below the 5-year average for this time of year. Distillate fuel inventories increased by 800,000 barrels last week over week, and are 6% below the 5-year average for this time of year. Propane and propylene inventories increased by 1.5 million barrels week over week and are 14% below the 5-year average for this time of year. U.S. crude oil imports averaged 6.4 million barrels per day week over week, down by 75,000 barrels per day week over week. Over the past 4 weeks, crude oil imports averaged 6.6 million barrels per day, 15% more than the same 4-week period last year. U.S. crude oil inventory inputs averaged 15.9 million barrels per day during the week ended July 30th, 2021, which was 46,000 barrels a day more than the previous week's average. Refineries operated at 91.3% of their operable capacity last week. Oil is lower in overnight trading, and WTI is poised to open at 65.42, down 2.86 a barrel from Friday's close. Total North American rail volumes were up 3.7% year over year in week 30, resulting in quarter-to-date volumes that are up 2.8% year over year, and year-to-date volumes that are up 10.9% year over year. 7 of AAR's 11 major categories posted year over year increases, with the largest coming from metallic ores and metals, up 40.8%. Intermodal was up 1.9%. The largest decrease came from motor vehicles, which was down 21.9%. Total North American rig count is up by 6 rigs week over week. The U.S. rig count was up by 3 rigs week over week and up by 244 rigs year over year. The U.S. currently has 491 active rigs. Canada's rig count was up by 3 rigs week over week and up by 109 rigs year over year. And Canada's overall rig count is 156 active rigs. Year over year, we are up 343 rigs collectively. A few things that we're keeping an eye on, folks. Railcar scrapping. The scrap market went down slightly last week, but held close to historic highs, with the pricing for August only seeing a drop of 5%. Economists were forecasting for a relatively flat market until Q4, when prices are expected to drop more substantially. This is the best time to scrap a rail car, distressed car, but please book your space. Space is very limited at facilities, so book spots now with PFL while you can. If your cars can't be moved, call us for options. Energy Transfer said it is completed its phased expansion of Dakota Access Pipeline that boosted capacity to 750,000 barrels a day from 570,000 barrels per day, even as it wages legal battle for DAPL survival. This is great news for Energy Transfer and its partners, but not so good news for Crude by Rail. See PFL's Rail Report for further details. We are watching commodities, folks. Propane prices in Asia remain on fire and reaching new highs. It's going to be difficult to fill U.S. storage here. Also, liquefied natural gas pricing for September delivery into Northeast Asia was $16.90 per MMBTU, which was up $1.30 per MMBTU week over week. Spot prices rose to record highs of $33 per MMBTU amid production constraints in countries last year. It's driving coal. Folks, people are putting their coal cars back to work, even looking for additional cars in the right places. Good news for rail. The reading of PFL's Rail Report today is a must. Not only do we go into more detail of items discussed in today's podcast, but summarize the latest petroleum by rail numbers, have August scrap prices for you, review and talk about coal project that got canceled in Alberta by the energy regulator in spite of rising coal demand. It's a must read, folks. That's all for this week's podcast. We hope it was helpful, and we hope that you have a great, safe week, and we will see you next Monday. PFL has been extremely busy with railcar storage, scrapping, return on lease strategies, subleasing. Please check out our just posted reports. Call us if you want to troubleshoot any matter. We're here to answer any question that you may have, and we hope that everyone has a fantastic week. Again, our phone number is 239-390-2885. Thank you, folks.